Your furry besties are back for another episode of No Man. I'm Will, and this is my co-host.
Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single episode of No Man.
All right, friends. So grab your glue guns and say a prayer to Michelle Visage because it is makeover week on All Stars 10, and the queens are transforming college basketball players into drag superstars. But this is also the last hurrah for Bracket 1, where the final three queens sashay into the semifinals. And the rest, we'll just have to wait and see. So, just like we did with our recap of episode 1 and 2, we are going to give you a full episode breakdown because everyone is doing that, right? Like, we want to do something different. So, we're just going to we're going to keep it simple, we're going to keep it shady, we're going to keep it no ma'am like we do all the time. So, this episode starts off with the bottom four queens deciding who they will give their MVQ points to. And if I'm being honest, I really felt bad for Phoenix because she generally did not know that the Queens had an alliance this whole entire time.
Yeah, it kind of brings you back to those days of like the playground, the school playground and being chosen last. Like that's kind of what it felt like for me, and I felt so bad for her. I don't think she deserved to be kind of outcast like that. I'm not sure the Queens did it purposely, but it definitely felt you as a viewer, you felt the sympathy for her, and you're like, damn, like they did my girl Phoenix dirty. And I was so excited to see her come back, especially after all these years. But I'm glad we at least got to see an elevated Phoenix.
Right. Or just an evolve of like an evolution of Phoenix, right? I think it's just good to see what she has done in like these amount of years since season 3. And so it was just good to see that.
Yeah,
But
and also like sorry, I felt like I love how she was very kind,
mhm.
right? And she was always about kind of maybe I'm also thinking about like the press tour, but I like that she's kind of teaching the kids about like what it means to be a drag queen and kind of the privilege that they have now being able to do it. And again, I'm kind of thinking of the press tour. I don't think we got to see that so much necessarily in these 3 episodes. But I think some people really needed to hear that. And I think she was a great queen to kind of educate the children about about the reality of what being a drag queen was like a few years ago, not even that long ago. So I love that for her. I love that she kind of got to be a little bit of like a motherly figure, kind of.
Mhm.
And I really hope we get that they're the one that she's the one that they bring back at the end.
True.
Spoilers,
Yeah.
kind of, if you already saw it, but like whatever.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's always good when the younger fans of Drag Race get to see some of the queens from the older seasons come back, right? I think it's a newfound appreciation for them. I think it's great. But also, what I don't like is that they kind of make them seem as if, oh, they're so outdated and antiquated, and they play that at it because that's not true. There's nothing wrong
And
with
she was
Phoenix's
definitely
drag,
not that.
right? There's nothing wrong with Phoenix's drag. I just think that they play it into the fact of she was like her inner saboteur a little too much for me, in my opinion, because her looks was good. There was nothing wrong with her face, right? Phoenix was fine. Like, Phoenix did her thing. I don't think the way they kept making it seem is like, oh, she's in her head and she can't do this. No, they need to stop doing that because that didn't bode well with me because I was like, well, we're not going to do because in my head, I'm like, are they going to do this with Nicole Page Brooks too? Like, are they going to just with any other queen who comes from an older season, like maybe 1, 2, and 3, or even 4, right? Are they going to be like, oh my God, you guys are so old, like you don't know what's happening in the new landscape of drag? Like, is that what they're going to continue doing? I don't know. I don't like that edit.
Yeah, because Phoenix herself didn't give me that vibe at all. Like it felt, yes, very old school drag, but it does feel like she has kept up with the times and has made changes to her drag and to really incorporate those new aesthetics and stuff like that. Because I thought she was great. I loved Phoenix. I want to see more of her.
Same.
I love her.
So now, do you think it was good gameplay for Olivia to give her point to Deja instead of Aja because that ultimately tied Deja and Aja and herself with 3 points?
Yes, that kind like the way I'm thinking about it, if I was her, that might guarantee me, or that gives me a fighting chance to be in the finale. If she gives it to Aja, she's putting her in the top three with Irene and Bosco. Like, they will be the top three now. There's still more points to give. So now we're all even. We all have a chance. I thought it was a good strategy. And it also got Deja on her side so that when it comes down to it, she could probably count on Deja to give her that final point she needed to reach the finale or whatever. Like, she might be able to swing it her way.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with you. I think in terms of gameplay, right? Yes, at the end of the day, they are in the Mimu like alliance, yes, right? But at the same time, it's every queen for themselves, and you want to make sure that you solidify yourself in the semifinals, right? But I also understand Alja saying, "Wait, like, whoa, we didn't talk about this, right? We talked about I give you my point, you give me your point, and that's what we're gonna do. Like, we have each other's backs. You scratch my back, I scratch yours, and so I can see where the confusion like came from. Where I was just looking at Olivia like, bitch, what? All stars, all stunts. Like I can't, trust Olivia Lux because she did some shady shit. She gave her point to Deja. Now, I also think Olivia wanted to say what you said. I don't think she explained herself like the correct way, or maybe the
Yeah.
how the edit made it seem like. However, we don't know how the full conversation, but what we saw from that moment, it didn't seem like Olivia fully explained why she did that. And so, yes, did it come off as Olivia's being really shady? Yes. And so I think that also like helped Aja's situation too, because as a fan, as a viewer, you're like, oh yeah, Olivia's being really shady because Olivia did not fully explain her decision correctly.
Yeah, for me, the way I got it from Olivia, based on the edit and based on what was portrayed on TV, it was more like, oh, I thought we had agreed that all three of us were going to be in the finale, but I don't recall them ever having that conversation necessarily.
Yeah. And I think that's what happens when you have too many different alliances, right? Like we
Yeah,
have too
girl,
many
that's
different
just
alliances. It gets lost in the sauce. It gets lost in translation. You don't know which alliance you need to put off like on top of each other. According to Aja, Mimu was diamond, right? And
Mhm.
then the melanin station was platinum. But according to Olivia, Olivia's like she put everybody on the same like equal playing field. But I think that's where the conversation got like misconstrued because not everybody felt that way.
Yeah, girl, alliances can be messy as fuck. Yes, helpful in certain situations, but they can also be messy as hell, and we saw that today.
Listen, yes, we did. So, can we do a quick pivot? And you know I live for a pivot. You know I love a pivot. I live for a pivot. So, remember last episode, we talked about the hate that Olivia Lux was getting, right? Because
Uh-huh.
they said that Olivia Lux is fake on this season and she's
Racism.
not, and she's was giving racism, hashtag House of Discrimination. So, Olivia tweeted this: a letter to my haters. Calling me unlikable, unrelatable makes complete sense. You can never relate to me. I'm a luxury, and you wouldn't understand luxury even if it crawled through your outdated, cracked Android phone screen and kissed you on your wrinkled forehead.
Olivia,
When I say Olivia ate that,
where are
Olivia
my pearls,
ate.
girl? I need a. That is like, that is an Electro level read. That is amazing. I love that. Olivia, keep your neck on these girlies. I love that. I'm sorry, keep your heel on the neck of these girlies, on these girls' necks. I don't know why the fuck I said that, but I love that. I love that.
Olivia
Oh
ate
my God.
that.
She
She
absolutely did.
ate
That
that.
is the ballroom in her coming out.
Yes, right. And I just think that is so. And so people's like, not too much on the cracked phone screens. And I was like, and so people
Bitch,
just kept saying that. It was like, not too much on the cracked phone screens. But no, I think
me.
I love that she said that, right? Because I love that she's coming to her space where she's like, listen, if you think I'm unrelatable, you can't relate to me. And that's okay, right? Like, you probably
Relate to
won't. And
beauty.
I'm like, you're not on my level. And I think that's what you need, right? You need, especially on television shows like Drag Race in particular, when you know the queens they are under attack by the fans. If the fans doesn't like what the queens say on an episode, then it's like, oh, they hate you for life.
Oh yeah, funny.
And no, but I just want to pivot because I thought that was a great comeback from Olivia, and I thought that really just solidifies that the hate that she's getting is it's unwarranted.
Oh yeah, yeah. I love that. Oh my God, I need her to read. Damn, they should have had they. Why didn't they have a reading challenge? Are they gonna
Oh
have a
yeah,
reading challenge?
probably for bracket two, you know they're gonna have a reading is fundamental challenge as a
But
mini
now I want one
challenge.
for like they should have had one for every bracket. Like you know how like usually in All Stars they'll have them episode one, like read the girls.
Yeah,
They could have done it like the first episode of each bracket. That would have been
just
really fun.
like
Three reading
I don't know.
challenges? If they were
Imagine.
good, that would have been amazing. If they were
Yeah.
good. But with
Yes.
this cast, let's be real, they'd be good.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, bracket two for sure.
Bracket two, Mistress, Nicole. Oof.
Tina Burner.
Tina, Tina's bracket two.
Yeah, Tina's bracket two.
Okay. Sorry. Listen, there's a lot of brackets, a lot of colors, a lot of
Yeah,
queens. It's hard to keep track
Georges,
of them. The tiniest little ways. I know it wasn't her who said it, but every time I think Georges, I just think Lady Camden's read of the tiniest little ways. Of
Lydia,
time.
and Carrie Colby. That's bracket two.
Okay, yeah, I'm saying it now.
Yes. So
That would
now,
that would
yeah, and I'm telling you, the reading challenge is probably going to be in bracket two because they are going to bring the drama. So now the queens are challenged with drag family makeovers, and they have to make over women's college basketball players into their drag sisters. So I found this to be really shady because the only person who did a makeover challenge in this bracket one was Olivia Lux, and she got eliminated on that challenge. No one else has done a makeover in their original seasons. So it was an even playing field if you think about it, right? Like this
yeah.
is we don't know what these queens can do because none of them have done this in their original seasons. But before they're paired with their partners, the queens need to play basketball. Well, essentially, they need to do a free throw competition, and that determines who will get to pick the partners. So Irene, Deja, God, it's a ghost in my room. The book just fell off my bookcase. God, it scared the shit out of me. So Irene, Deja, Bosco, and Phoenix did such an amazing job. First of all, Irene with her 8 points and the little lift of the feet was so gay. I loved it. I was like, this is so gay. I think it is so good.
I did not expect that
Deja,
from Miss Irene.
Deja being her full Butch Queen fantasy with her pants falling down and the do rag on her head. I was like, Deja
Those
girl,
fucking pants
Deja
are her
girl.
number one enemy.
Like that was her in a saboteur. Like I was like, Deja. She's like, oh my pants. Wait, gotta pull up my pants. Gotta pull up my pants.
From the beginning of the episode.
I was like, Deja, girl, yes, you lost to the weight. You need to wear a belt, child. You cannot
Girl,
be out
get
here
the
with the Sierra.
I
Like,
thought
no.
she can sew, right? Can she sew?
I don't know.
Girl, just you know how to fix pants.
Right.
Yeah,
But
you at least know how to do that.
that was so funny to me.
I thought that was hilarious.
And then Bosco, I was not expecting Bosco to be that good.
Bosco got me all hot and bothered. Like I was like, Bosco,
Bosco's good. Yes.
go. I thought
Yes.
she was about to be Irene.
She almost did. She was 1 point less
I
than Irene.
know.
And then Phoenix did really well too.
Yeah. I wanted Phoenix to win just again because of what had happened with the points. I wanted her to be the one to choose just to give her that power.
Yeah.
But I also thought it was really funny. Who was it? Was it Aja or Bosco? That just basically started playing dodgeball. It wasn't even basketball at the end.
No, that
Once
was
they
Olivia.
That was Olivia, my bad. It was Olivia. And she just started throwing the balls and the girls are
Yes.
dodging.
They like dodging
I thought
it.
that was so funny.
Yeah, yeah.
Like Miss Olivia, stick to
Yes.
ballroom, girl.
No, my
Love
favorite
you,
part
stick to
was
ballroom.
when they did the little like slow motion because they thought that Rue was gonna like,
Oh my God.
hit it and she missed it and then she ran away from the hoop. I thought that was so funny.
RuPaul running, not on my 2025 bingo card.
That was
Um,
hilarious to me.
but I am loving Rue's interactions with the girls this season. Like I feel like Rue's just having fun. Like she's just
Yeah,
letting go. And I love
yeah.
that. I love to see that side of Rue.
Yes, I think it's funny. I also think it's because she solidified the fact that she's done this already, right? Like she don't have to be prim and proper, right? Like she could just be her. And I think this is good. Especially I think she does more in the All-Star seasons
Yeah.
when like because she like they've already been on the original season right now. So they coming back, they know their brand, they're coming back. We can have this banter, and this is what the All-Star season is about, right? Like especially these seasons. It's like thank you for coming to All-Stars. You're your own brand now. We can just like kiki and have fun. So, but in the end, Irene gets 8 points and she wins the mini challenge. And she gets the power to pair each of the queens up with their respective women's basketball player. Now, what I love that Irene did, she says, I'm going to make sure that I pair them up with the right people because if I win, I want to win because this is an even playing field and not because I paired people up with like somebody to set them up for failure. And I thought that was really great.
Would have been shady.
No, because I'm like, I
No,
see that
so
part.
see, like part of me, yes, absolutely has that same mentality of like if I'm gonna declare like if I want to be crowned the best, it's because I beat the absolute best. Like, I get that. But the other like side of me is like, no girl, throw the pearls on the floor. Cut a bitch. Like what was it? Like club a bitch's knee or whatever. Like, you know, I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do to win.
But if you do that, do you think that invalidates the win, right? Do you think that, like, do you
No,
really
because I
earn that
still won.
win?
Yes, because I still won.
Friends, comment below. If you purposely sabotage the other person and you win, is it still a
Yes.
valid win?
Yes, you were smart enough to sabotage.
Hmm.
I think
All
it's still a
right.
valid win.
I
And let's
mean,
be
we
real, it
could.
makes for great TV.
Well, it makes for full amazing TV. I mean, we've seen it. Plain Jane did it. So she sabotaged Nympia Wind and she won the Raider Queen. So
Hmm.
yes, it is possible, right? But it makes for great TV and it makes for a great villain in it. So, all right, I have a hot take. I love my hot takes.
You
I
do.
love my hot take this season is coming in hot, caliente. Bracket one is the Irene show.
Oh,
It's the Irene show.
yes. Challenge wise, yes.
Irene has
Yes.
won every episode so far, and she's won every single mini challenge so far. If this isn't the best redemption of an eliminated queen on an original season coming back for All Stars, I don't know what else is.
Yeah, and I mean she truly deserved everyone she got because she was such an amazing performer. And I think what really surprised everyone was the fact that we didn't know what the hell she was gonna do. We did not get to see her past episode one. So we really didn't know that her caliber of drag. And I'm sure it's elevated since her original season, but it's been so amazing to watch.
Yeah, but also, do you think like do you because she said that she's like hearing Rue tell me how great I am and that stuff has like really reignited my passion for drag and made me feel like I can do this. Do you honestly do you see that when the girls get eliminated on the original seasons, do you think it really invalidates how they feel about their artistry?
I think so. I think so. Yeah, because I mean, obviously there's a lot of queens that go on there and like they're so sure in who they are and what they're able to do that even if they get eliminated, they're like, okay, well, it is what it is. It's competition. They got the best of me. But I think there's definitely some queens that go on who maybe are not as experienced or who maybe don't have their drag persona fully fleshed out just yet, or who are only been doing it for a couple years, that when they get given that no, they're like, damn, like is what I'm presenting bad? Like, am I a bad drag queen? And I'm sure there's a lot of queens who have experienced that. And I think that's totally understandable. But I wish somebody would help the queens realize that, hey, no, that's, and I think a lot of queens will realize that now, actually, that being eliminated is not the end of your drag career. And we've seen it countless times where queens who either get eliminated early or don't do that well in the competition or don't get a good portrayal want to do amazing things beyond Drag Race.
So my question, I have another question after that because you said something really to me I thought that was really interesting. Is do you think that when drag queens go on Drag Race, do you think they're going on Drag Race to validate their artistry, right? Like, do you think they're going on Drag Race to say, oh, well, like, I've made it, as Drag Race is like some kind of like testament that, oh, like, I'm a full-fledged drag queen if I go on Drag Race. But if I'm not on Drag Race, that means I'm not a good enough drag queen.
No. Yes. No. Not everyone. So I think there's definitely some queens. I don't think it's necessarily to validate their artistry or their drag. I think most queens go on it to show the world, like, hey, I'm great at what I do. I want you to see that. I don't need you to tell me I'm good at what I do. I just want to show that to the world. And I think now more than ever, some queens go on kind of with the expectation, like, well, I don't necessarily, like, obviously I want to win, but I'm okay with not winning because I'm just going to have the platform to show the drag queen that I am. And I also think there's a lot of very well-known established drag queens in the drag community, especially like here in New York, who know they're amazing, who know they're the shit, who know they're great, but they won't do Drag Race because they don't need that. They don't necessarily need, I guess, like you said, that validation from someone to know that they're great. So they're okay with not being on it. So I think there's, for the most part, no, I don't think queens go on it to validate their drag, but I think there are definitely a few maybe, not that many.
Yeah, I only said that because this is not the first time I've heard like an early out queen come back for All Stars and say that when they do well on All Stars and they get really great critiques that they're like, oh my gosh, like thank you because I felt so bad about myself when I got eliminated. And I just don't want them to feel like Drag Race is the end all be all because that's not. This is still a competition at the end of the
Absolutely is
day.
not. No.
Right.
I think
So
I think Drag Race is just a platform. Yes, obviously it's amazing to win the $200,000 prize, but I think just being on it is a testament to the queens themselves and how great they are, even if they get eliminated early.
yeah, I agree. At the end of the day, it's still a TV show. So I think people need to realize that it's just a TV show. It's just like you get cast on a normal TV show, just like everybody else. All right. So shall we get into this runway? So now the runway is drag family resemblance. And I think that's really important because every time we have a drag family resemblance or a makeover challenge, the criteria is always up to their discretion. And all right, so first up, we have Deja Sky and Sophie Roches. So, first of all, Sophie Roches, amazing drag queen name. Love that name because it's like so ferocious. And I was like, oh my God.
See, y'all, it takes me a minute to get these names sometimes. I don't get that.
Sophie
Yo, I
Roches,
can
so
be really dumb
ferocious.
sometimes. I can be really dumb sometimes. Sometimes.
Joanne, like, come on now. I was like, that's such an amazing drag queen name. I was like, oh my God,
I
so
love that
ferocious.
actually.
That is so cute. But this got a no ma'am for me. Only because it was not a bad makeover. I thought Sophie Roches looked amazing. Deja beat that mug down, but they just looked like two separate people, and I had a hard time seeing the family resemblance in them. Even if it was drag mom and daughter or drag sister, I didn't see where they connected. I saw two friends. And so for me, it just took me out of the fantasy.
Yeah, I would give it a no ma'am too. Just for that same reason, honestly, even the outfits, like they were really disconnected. I was really excited to see Deja paint because we know Deja can paint. Like I love seeing her videos online of her doing her makeup and giving makeup tips. I've followed a lot of them because the bitch can paint. So I was really excited on that aspect. And Sophie looked beautiful. She looked
Yes.
gorgeous. But when it
Yes.
came down to it, like you said, they just did not look in any way, type, or form related. Maybe adopted. That way they'd be related, but like not actual like family members.
Right. All right. Next up, we had Bosco and the Goddess. What did you think?
I thought the goddess looked beautiful. I love the way they came in. First of all, I'm surprised she was actually able to hide behind Bosco because the bitch is tall and Bosco is tiny. So that was really fun. But I thought she looked beautiful, and I thought the family resemblance was there because when I looked at the goddess, I saw Bosco's face. Like, especially in certain angles, like she would turn or like the camera would pan when they were like critiquing them. And I'd be like, that's Bosco, bitch. Like that face was Bosco's face to me. Were the outfits necessarily giving total family resemblance? I don't think so, but I think I also don't like it when they're like too match or like twinning, because I think that's just kind of the easy route. I thought they did just enough outfit wise for it to give family resemblance, but what really gave family resemblance to me was the face.
Okay. I actually, so what did you give this?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Okay. I gave it a no ma'am. And I have a hot take. You know, this is my second hot take.
Girl, this is like your third hot take.
So this episode is like my second hot take.
I think
There
so.
was no family resemblance. To me, this was a produced moment to get Bosco into the finale. Now, no shade. I love Bosco. I'm not mad that Bosco is in the finale. I love that. Love that for her. But I feel like this is where the criteria gets really muddled because just like they told Deja that there was no like the outfits in the match and there was no family resemblance, you can't say that the fact that they both had that like white streak in the hair, like the black and white streak, is where the family resemblance came from because no, there was no family resemblance between Bosco and the goddess. Now, did Bosco beat the goddess's face? Yes. Did the goddess look amazing? Yes. But was there any family resemblance? Absolutely not.
See, that's where I disagree with you because I think the face is very important when it comes to family resemblance, and that's how you can tell when people are related. It's the face. And again, I just saw Bosco's face like perfectly stamped onto the goddess's face, but like also like adapted to her specific features. So I thought that for me was, at least makeup wise, the best family resemblance.
Listen, the goddess and Bosco looked amazing. Like, I'm not taking it away from them. It just to me, like on the criteria, if I was gonna judge it, I just didn't see the family resemblance. That's just my personal opinion. But I'm sure there's other people like out there who agree with you, right? Like, that's all good. Next we had
No, girl, I
Irene
want
the
you to fight back. No, I'm kidding.
no.
I don't.
Next, we have Irene the alien and Estelle the alien. And I thought this was over. I really enjoyed this. For some reason, I like that it was a juxtaposition between the two different clowns, right? Yeah, they were both black and white, but they had different variations of black and white. But did I see some of Irene's like family resemblance in Estelle? Yes. Did I see that they were totally related to each other? Did it look identical? No, they were not. But we could see that they still came in the same family. And so when I look at drag family resemblance, for me, I think I always look for the costumes being matching. Like I like for like the similar storylines to do that and like similar makeup, similar hairstyles. That stuff is where I see drag family resemblance because that's kind of what I'm expecting. And so I thought Irene did really well.
It was a yes, ma'am. I think the outfits were really good. But this is kind of what I mean, where like I feel like sometimes they rely on the outfits themselves to give you that family resemblance rather than everything as a whole. I think the face somewhat resembled Irene's. It did resemble Irene's. I don't know. I think I was kind of expecting more with the makeup just because it is Irene. But I also get it because you have to paint two faces in the same amount of time. So I get why she didn't go further. I think that was really my only critique. I just wanted more fun, like more color on the face, maybe. I don't know. This is just me being nitpicky, honestly. It was a great look. The looks themselves were actually amazing.
Yeah, they're really good.
It was giving cunty killer clowns from outer space.
It really was. Next, we had Phoenix and Heron. First of all, I didn't understand that name Heron, but I get it now because Phoenix is like
A
the
bird.
Phoenix of like mythology, and Heron is like the sun, well, the son of Zeus.
Isn't
So
Heron a
that's fine.
bird too?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not an ornithologist.
Yeah, it's a bird.
Anyways, I guess. I thought this was a yes, ma'am. I love that the Phoenix did the end of era, like Phoenix, Prison Honey. I thought that was good. The only thing I would say is that the performance was a little lackluster for me. And so that's the only reason why I didn't give it higher than a yes, ma'am, because I wanted like a little bit more energy. I wanted a little bit more like oomph from the two of them. And I thought like beating that together. But did I see the drag family resemblance? Yes. Did I love the season three moment come back on the main stage of All Stars 10? Yes. I was like, thank you for that. Prison Honey, because we said that the other day, remember we was like, Prison Honey. And so
Prison.
the fact that she's owning that, I thought that was amazing. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I love these callback moments. I think it's a great way just to educate these younger children on. I keep saying that like I'm old as fuck. I'm really not that old,
I mean, well,
but
gay years, you're a grandpa, so yes. It's
I'm a
true.
grandpa, bitch. Your
I
ashes.
died. I died. Yeah.
What was I gonna say? I forgot what I was saying, girl.
Girl, you gotta do better. You legit have to do better. It's good for the younger queen to see these moments come back on the stage. That's what you were saying.
Yeah, so I love that it was a great callback moment for her. The only critique I had with this look, it's a yes, no. The only critique I had with this look is I wish she would have used the original wigs, like the original wig that she had on, because this was like an elevated wig. I just love that wig that she wore on
So
season three so much.
you think them wigs last 15 years?
She had it. She had it in the workroom.
Yeah, but I don't think that she was, I think she only had one. You think she asked India for the same wig?
Well, she could have gotten, I don't know, she could have paid somebody to recreate the wigs like Cheetah T. Like, let's be real. Somebody would have recreated those for her. But I think it was good that she did it because I think the judges might have read her to filth for using the same wigs. Because
Oh,
you
I
know they can
wouldn't
be
read her.
very nitpicky and they will find anything to like
And
to
by they,
drag the
you mean
girls
Michelle
for.
Visage. You mean, by they, you mean Michelle. Not they,
Well,
Michelle.
yeah. Yeah. Michelle would
Any
have
Anytime is a makeover challenge, it's
I
Michelle
think Rue
reading the
would have
girls.
loved it if she used the original wigs. I think she would have just laughed about it. But yeah, Michelle probably would have dragged her for it. But it
Yes,
was a good look
anytime
nonetheless.
there's a makeover challenge, it's Michelle who's reading the girls. Like, it's Michelle. It's nobody
Yeah.
else. It's Michelle's critiques that were always like, that makes no sense, Michelle. It's Michelle's.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, any other like episode is Rue. We're like, that'll make no sense. But a makeover challenge, for sure, we know Michelle is going to give us a random ass critique that makes no sense, and that's
Yeah,
what makes the show great.
I thought it was also I thought it was very shady of her. Like the first ones that were critiqued were Deja and Sophie. And she told them, this is not drag family resemblance at all, blah blah blah. She went on. And then when she was going online, she kind of kept calling back to them, like, see, this is what it is. Or like this is what drag family resemblance without being matchy. But for me, it just felt kind of catty to
It
like kind
was.
of emphasize that so much. I was just kind of like, ooh, like I mean, part of me is like, yes, like, living for it, but at the same time, I'm like, ooh, girl, once is enough.
Yeah, I mean, but I think at the makeover challenges, we always expect Michelle to give us some unsolicited like critiques that kind of make no sense, and just the way they always edit it together just makes it piece like the when they put the pieces together it just didn't make any sense, and it always seems like she contradicts herself as she goes down the line with the ones she likes, and they just need to be like the makeover challenge is based on what the judges like and what they don't like, right? Like that's it. At the end of the day. That's what's going to be because what we feel is going to be a drag family resemblance not necessarily is going to be what the judges feel. And at this point, I think
Actually,
we've realized that. And we know that Michelle likes matchy matchy. Michelle likes faced to match, and Michelle likes the queens that she likes.
Yeah,
So
that's
those are
true.
the three. Those are the three criteria for Michelle. Really, like if you don't, if the outfits are not matching, she's automatically going to be like, there's no resemblance. And if the face, the makeup doesn't match, automatically zero resemblance. And if she likes you, and they maybe a few little critiques, she's gonna be like, oh my god, this is what it means when you don't have to be matchy matchy. So we understand that that's Michelle. That's what she
Yeah,
does, right? In particular for Olivia and Octavia looks, right? I thought Olivia did an amazing job in terms of being a drag family resemblance without having to look exactly alike, right? Like they weren't matchy matchy. I also thought this was an over to me because I took into consideration the whole entire package. I thought Octavia was living her full drag queen fantasy, right? Like throughout the whole entire episode, she was like, what if we do this instead of doing, and you go this way and I do that way, right?
I love that.
So she was in it to win it. And the afros being asymmetrical on one side, like I was like, that's so good.
Yes, absolutely. I thought the hair was amazing. The outfits, yes, ma'am. Just I kind of wanted more from Olivia, like a more elevated look. I don't know. Great looks,
I
nothing
mean,
wrong with them at all.
Olivia, the last time she did a makeover challenge, she got eliminated.
Rightfully.
Yeah, she did. The last time she did a makeover, yeah, she did. She did. It was two makeover challenges, and it was two makeover challenges she did. No, it was one makeover challenge she did. She was in the
Yeah,
bottom, and
she eliminated Denali.
yes, but you could tell that she's not really great in terms
Yeah,
of like makeovers.
yeah,
So the fact that she was able to give Octavia this, it's really great.
yeah. And I also love when when the guests get into it, when they actually like have fun with it, when they are not afraid to go balls to the wall with it. Like who's Sophie shaving her brows? Like Deja didn't even complete the sentence. She's like, "You want to shave them? Shave them." I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh!" All the girls in the back were like, "Is she doing it? Is she doing
and
it?" I
so
forgot
Irene
which
was like,
queen was standing
Irene was
next
like,
to
I
her.
would never, I would never. That was Irene. Irene was like, I would never.
No, it was behind the. I think it was Olivia who once. I think she knew what Deja was gonna say. So once Deja started the sentence, you see her face. I'm like, "Girl, no, like don't ask her. Like, not like you should not do that." But the girl was so with it. She's like, "Yeah, shave him." I love those moments. Because I think it's so fun to see the guests just have fun with it and really live the fantasy. Because at the end of the day, that's what they should do. Like just live the
Yeah.
fantasy. You're only there once. Just go crazy with it. I hate when they have issues with it. Like, girl, that season 6 makeover pisses me the fuck off. Um, but moments like these, I really love and I really enjoy.
Okay, I have another hot take.
God, we should just name this episode "Hot Takes
I
101"
have
or
another hot
something.
take because, first of all, I think Olivia should have won this challenge. I think
I could,
Olivia ate this challenge and the performance. She ate it up.
I can see why you think that, and I would not be upset at her winning this challenge. Actually, I would have put her above Irene, honestly.
Like, and this does not invalidate the queens who won. I think
No,
Bosco and
at
Irene
all.
ate up. But in my opinion, I honestly think Olivia should have won the challenge.
I can see an argument for it. I said I could see her above Irene. See, this is why we're not judges, or at least I'm
I
not a
know.
judge, because I wouldn't be able to make up my fucking mind, girl.
Yes.
I'd be like, ah,
Okay.
but this queen did that, but this queen did that, but this queen did
Right.
that. So which one do we pick?
But speaking of one that I thought was really gaggy, was Aja and Tiva. So I gave this to the yes ma'am because I thought the looks was cute. I liked the fairy looks. I saw some resemblance in there, even though they weren't like totally resembling to each other. But I thought Tiva was having fun with Aja. The rap was super cute. She kept up with Aja. Aja gonna do the split and she gonna do her little, soft and cut on the floor and all that. So I really enjoyed it, but I thought Tiva did a really great job like being with Aja.
Yeah, that mean rapping with Aja is not an easy task, girl. At all, or performing with her in general. I think they had the best performance. I loved it. Not a huge fan of looks. I agree with Michelle where I was like, it's almost kind of costumey, but also like the wing kind of like not being there or like being like all scrunched up, whatever the fuck had happened, kind of took me out of the illusion. But what I really loved, meh, meh, man. No man for the looks, absolutely yes, ma'am, over for the performance.
Okay.
But sorry, what I was gonna say is what I really loved was Audrey's response to
Say it.
Michelle
Say
when
it.
she was like, "Yeah, this is a costume, girl. We love costumes or whatever." She said, I don't remember exactly what she said, but I
He
lived
said,
for it.
drag is a costume.
That's what it
I
was.
love it. Do you love it? We love it. That was
I
the
love that.
gag.
I
The
love
gag.
that. Like I was
The
like,
gag.
I was cheering her on from my room. I was like, yes,
She
bitch.
gagged Michelle.
Yeah.
She gagged Michelle. That was such a ballroom thing of Aja. Like when the judges come with you and say something overly cunty, and you come back with the gag. Oh, so you're not living from you don't want to give me my tens. Okay, so I'm gonna show you. Like, yeah, that's what it is. It's the rebuttal. She came back with the rebuttal was
I
so
love
good.
that. I
That
love that.
Michelle just had to be like this. It was good. Aja gagged her. But all right. So in the end, we see that Bosco and Irene are the top two queens, which automatically moves them into the semifinal round. Right. But the other four queens need to give their MVQ points to each other on the main stage. So now, here's where it gets a little like, oh, wait. Aja gives her point to Deja. Deja gives her point to Olivia. Olivia gives her point to Aja, which ties Deja, Aja, and Olivia with 4 points each. Now, Phoenix can either break the tie or can have can give her point to either Irene or Bosco and have Rue break the tie. But I think it would have been really fun if it would have played out the other way, because I would love to see what would have happened that way. But in the end, Phoenix ends up giving her point to Aja, breaking the tie and pushing Aja into the semifinal round, giving Aja 5 points.
I love that it came down to Phoenix having to decide because just the same way you can't get in booked in the South without going through Phoenix, bitch, you couldn't make it to the semifinale without going through Phoenix. So I
This is true.
love that for her. And I love that she was put into this place, especially because, those girls didn't give her the points. So now she could have been really shady and be like, well, I'm not deciding, let Rue decide. I thought that would have been so fun to watch, but I'm glad that she was like, no, let me give it to one of them. Let me push one of them through. I love that for her. I'm so sad
So,
she as far as we know so far, because they still have that wild card moment, so she might be brought
mhm,
back. But
yeah,
as of right now, I'm sad she's not going through the semifinale.
same. So, Bosco and Irene have the lip sync to Pocketbook by Jennifer Hudson featuring Ludacris. What did you think of the lip sync?
That was, eh, I thought there was some cute, funny moments. Like I just thought it was the worst of the three lip syncs we saw for this bracket. It wasn't bad. There was cute moments.
So, I have a hot take.
I'll take number 79, girl.
So my hot take is this is a horrible song to lip sync to, but with that being said, I thought Irene did much better than Bosco. I thought when Irene did the
Irene's
little,
face.
oh, she did little, I'm gonna hit you with my pocketbook. I was like, oh, she won.
Yeah, no, yeah. I think it was Irene's attitude that really sold it.
Yes, yeah, yeah. But Irene ends up winning lip sync and she gets an additional point and 10,000 joy. At the end of bracket one, Irene has 7 points, Bosco has 6 points, and Aja has 5 points. And they move on to the semifinal round. So, what happens to the other queens? Honestly, we don't know. But Rue did say that the other queens have an opportunity to get back into the competition as the wild card queen, in which each of the main judges gets to pick one queen to come back into the competition. So, what did you think of that twist?
I wish if they were gonna bring the queen back, think I don't think that's the way it should have happened. I don't know. Either give them a chance to fight back for it, like Lip Sync SmackDown or something. Like, give them a chance to actually fight for it, or let the queens themselves decide. Like collect them all at the end and be like, all right, you nine, pick one girl. I think that would be really fun to watch. For me, this just feels more like another way to get a producer's favorite on into the finale.
It is a produced TV show at the end of the
I know
day.
what. Yeah, we know that obviously, so it's always gonna happen. But who are they counting as? So it's gonna be Rue, Michelle, Carson, Ross,
T.S.
and
T.S. Madison.
TS. That's five. And is it at the end of each bracket they choose one and put them in the
At the end
pot?
of all three brackets.
The way I understood is at the end of each bracket they all choose they each choose a girl, they throw it in a ball, and they do that for all three brackets, and then they just pick one.
Yeah, it's going to be for all of the brackets. But it's only going
Okay.
to be one queen that comes back.
Okay. Got it.
So, all right, friends, bracket one is done. Now on to bracket two, which we find out comes out next week, Friday. So, and from the previews that we see, the shade is coming.
Ooh,
Incoming Mistress Isabel Brooks, baby.
and Nicole Page Brooks from Atlanta, Georgia.
What a
They
dab of Tina burner from New York City. We cannot wait until bracket two happens because that is when the real competition is going to be show up because that is when the drama is happening.
Fully, like I cannot wait to see Mistress absolutely troll the girls because you know she just does it
Yes.
for fun. She just does
Fun.
that for fun.
Just for
I
kicks.
love
She
that.
loves that shit.
Yeah.
She loves
Yeah.
it. But friends, you know what to do. Hit that follow button on your favorite platform, Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, because we're everywhere. Leave us a 5-star rating. Drop your favorite moment of this episode in our DMs or comment below. We're dying to hear from you. And as always, this is No Ma'am, where real talk meets legendary energy. Until next time, friends. Bye.